oh, my light doesn't work on my van. But it is getting warmer. Like the snow has melted from the street. And by the way, it's Monday morning and we are straight back to work. Welcome back to the channel, and I've got a confession to make. And some of you aren't going to be happy. The reason it's took me so long to edit these videos is because I started watching Prison Break again on Netflix, and I've ended up just binging it. So I've like been coming home and like thinking, oh, should I edit that video? And I'm like, oh no, I'll just watch another episode of Prison Break. And so it took me a while to get back in the flow of editing again. But I feel like when I start editing, like I get the bug for it again, and then I want to carry on doing it. So I've just edited another one and I haven't uploaded it yet. I've uploaded it. I've got to do the thumbnail and everything else. You might notice a difference over the last few weeks in the descriptions, the tags, the thumbnails, and that's because I've started using ChatGPT, is it? I always get it mixed up. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It has its flaws, but I think the videos have been, you know, better off for it. Especially like using the descriptions and the tags. I think we're getting more views than we were originally. So yeah, let's hope. See if it continues to work. And I'm on the way now. We're back on the extension job this morning, so I'm on the way to pick Ronnie and Phil up as Ronnie's van's going in for an MOT. So I said I'd meet him there early this morning and pick him up, and we're going to go and start smashing out the extension job now. The plan is for I'm going to run to Scofield, get electrics and plumbing, first fix gear, and I'm going to do a big order. I'm going to get the measure up and do an order of insulation and plasterboard, and it'll be a big, you know, that'll be a big step now for the customer, seeing all that going in, because we're near the end and we're just doing this job to a plastered and painted stage. So we're not going to do the kitchen, the woodwork, the skirting, the doors, etc, etc, because that takes up too much of our time from the skilled people, and we need to move on to the next job and get that one going, which is my sister's extension. So she will be happy that we're nearly there. So we're going to be close, where the student job will finish soon. That should finish maybe end of this month, start of next month. And the extension job, you know, we're getting to sort of similar stage of plasterboarding and skimming. And yeah, let's go. Let's get this week. We're just at Mainsway, and if you bring bricks here, they cost, I think it costs a tenner. It's a tip. Sometimes it's free. I might just pull forward a little bit now. Let me pull forward a little bit. But yeah, you can see these will recycle it straight away. The guy's literally, as we're tipping it, he's putting it in and it's getting crushed and recycled. So, wow, a much cheaper and easier way. Sometimes I like to try and tie it in if we're picking stuff up. We'll pick up a load of recycled stuff, but we don't need any at the minute, so let's just check that off. There we go, just one or two. There we go. We're back on the extension job, and the owner's made up to see us. Not many people are made up to see us, are they?
Speak for yourself, haven't you?
Oh well, and we're going to get the electrics and plumbing started in here now. So let's go in, and we can either start in this side on the top, or well, I'll have to start with the feeds from here. Always does that. I've just come to Beasley and Files, and I'm getting 6B2 for the wall with the soil piping. So we're going to hide the 110 soil pipe in the wall, and they didn't have 2.4, so I've had to buy 4.8 and get them cut in half. And then I'm just getting a load of 4B2 now. So we're going to try and set up all the walls so that we're ready for the electric, so we can actually get switches and back boxes and everything on, actually ready for to wire it properly rather than just leaving tails down. But yeah, just waiting on the 4B2 now. So I'm back on the student job, and he's got the heater on in here, that's why he's trying to dry the plaster. So he's taped up the door, and we are now down to this bit now, which is good. So it looks nearly all boarded. We've just got this bit and that. It looks like they're fitting the roof window or trying to do the... Hey, be careful on that. That's like slippy as, isn't it? Yeah, literally putting it on like the slippiest surface you can. Someone spraying upstairs? I'll go and have a look. So we've got stickers on the windows, little bits of flashing on top. And then, are you going to do this roof, or you got the stuff to do it now? Is it dry?
Yeah, he's had the torch on it.
Oh, sound. So you're going to give that a go today. And what are we doing? Dry verge down the side? Yep. Do you want to brick that up, or do you want to put a fascia down the side? Brick it up? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's getting there, isn't it? And then there's Laby, just turn that music off in there. There's Laby, Laby started spraying upstairs, so we're going to take a look now.
Do you want to turn that lift for you? You plaster one?
I can do, yeah. If I can get it in my van, I will. Yeah, sound? I'll get it up there ready. Morning.
Morning.
Just about.
Afternoon here, yeah.
Nearly, yeah. And Laby spraying. What room's he in? We've got the paint sprayer on. There we go. Nice. You getting used to it?
Yeah.
Getting used to it?
Yep.
Looks good. Don't worry about getting it perfect on the first run. Because you can always come back and do another.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, don't get it too... Because see there,
Yeah.
is where you put it on too thick and it started running.
Alright.
So just get it, I'll show you. Just go like, you're better doing 2 coats than... You're better doing it like that and then doing another coat than trying to get it, you know, looking like a finished wall on the first pass.
Yeah.
You're better doing like round.
Yep.
And then when you come back to it, you'll be like, oh yeah, and just go like another 2 coats on it then. Yeah? Looking good though. We're getting there, aren't we? It's a good day once you start spraying. Well, I'm sure Laby will have fun spraying the whole house. See how many rooms you can get done today. And then you're down now. Why is that wonky? This. Why is that?
I don't know, bent on it.
Huh? Oh, you got to nearly touch that then. Nice. This is getting there then, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to pick the guns up.
Floor's meant to be coming today. So then paint will be out there, and then probably roofs today and flooring tomorrow.
Boss?
Flooring done, skirts, house, desks, doors.
We're on the final...
And you can stop moaning about and work on the roofs in the cold.
We're on the final run here then, aren't we?
Mostly, yeah.
Our music.
Is the music, please?
The music, please.
Everything go well, mate?
It all went well.
That's nice.
Although we've got...
How about?
Where is it?
Who's got?
I've got the CV through.
What CV?
The CV through, so it's got no first name, just a surname. Don't even know the date of birth, no skills, life experience, they've left it blank.
Who's this, me?
Demanding full expenses paid for. They want me to pay for the training.
Who's this?
18-year contract. And the references, they put the mum and dad.
Who's this?
The baby.
Oh yeah?
Phil thought it was you for a sec there, didn't you?
Yeah, could have been me.
Hold on, let me go and give... Rachel's going to be fuming if I lose this.
Yeah, of course you did.
So yeah, we've somehow signed up to an 18-year contract. Say, what do you say to people who are enjoying the channel?
Follow the channel, like.
Today's been a bit of a nothing day, hasn't it? We built 2 stud walls on the extension job and then took 2 stud walls down. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll get...
Clear bricks, we've got the
Yeah,
rubber shield.
got rid of all that.
So we've got to say 2 positives.
We've got 2 positives from today, but we just called into a job that one of the estate agencies sent us, and they're getting, obviously you can see a damp patch there, and then they're getting mould, and I was just saying they're obviously not using this room. There's no bed or anything in it, it's just a drying room and whatever else, so that's why they're getting mould on these. So I was just saying to Phil that mould will stick to the most absorbent material, so if they're putting the washing in here and drying it, that moisture's got to go somewhere from the clothes. It doesn't just disappear. So what it's doing is it's just transferring to the nearest thing, which is obviously the blinds, and that's where it's getting hot and cold, and that's what's the perfect environment for mould to grow. However, that is actually wet. So that is wet and mould, and obviously then they're using it as a drying room. So just going to go outside the front now and have a look what is in this corner. But already we're thinking it's the gutters, because these old houses, the gutters sit on the brickwork, so it invites, if there's any leaks, it invites it into the house rather than away. Whereas now when we do extensions, you have an eaves and an overhang, and any drips on the gutter are sort of fed away from the house, not, you know, this style where it comes in. Let's go out in the front and have a little look now. Just on the roof on a ladder, and someone's come and has took this gutter off, cemented underneath it, put the gutter back. However, I've just took the tiles off and you can see all these run patterns of water, and then you can see a big bit there where it runs underneath. I mean, this is all knackered, so this is all runs underneath and is all wet getting into there, and that's where obviously they've had the main issue of water coming in this corner. So if I try and, I can't really bend this up without damaging it, but it looks pretty dry at the minute there. But you can see where they've had the old slate roof there. So it's dry really, isn't it? Someone's obviously put these felt support trays on to try and help it, but then that's like wet underneath. So why is that wet? I mean, I don't know whether this is just the old roof they've left stuff on, but it's just patches of damp. So I'm just looking if there's anything further up the roof where if there's a damage, if it's getting in and then it's travelling down the felt, hitting here, and obviously where that is now, this felt support tray is probably not quite big enough. It should be, but yeah, you can see all this is wet where it probably shouldn't be. So, and there and there and there. So it could just be that the snow sat on and the snow's overloaded these cracks and managed to get in. But they are interlocking tiles, so it shouldn't do that. However, these ones here are not quite, you know. I'm not 100% confident on this one, to be honest. I think it'd be a case of trial and error, but you see all that's like wet. It doesn't seem to be getting in. Would have to check when it was raining if it's getting out from the gutter. But yeah, let's put these on and we can show them obviously this video. But it's obviously wet this side of the gutters, which, you know, is never a good sign. I can't see any cracked tiles or anything obvious. The flashing looks okay. So let's have a little think. So one thing I've noticed is that the overhang on these tiles is 50mm. Now I'm going to Google what the overhang should be, but off the top of my head I think the minimum overhang I've heard is 75mm. So it could be that they've not got the right overhang and it's been able to, obviously, like with the snow and heavy rain, it's been able to get in behind. So yeah, we'll check that now, and that could be the issue. So I'm just laughing with Phil because we've just been to that job, and when we pulled up I said to Phil, I went, nah, we're not getting this job, and two, the landlord's not going to want to pay for anything to be done. And he was like, why do you know that? And I was like, one, they've got wooden windows on the house, and like you can tell they're leaking and whatever else, and then we went in the house and it was like mold on the wall and whatever, and I was thinking, you can just, you know, you can just tell. You go in somewhere and you think, like, the landlord's obviously
not going to pay a decent wage out to anyone.
He's not gonna want to pay like even like an average price or anything. He's gonna want everything like as cheap as he can, or for free.
50 quid a day.
Yeah. So I've diagnosed it, and I was just laughing with Phil then because I said to Phil, I went, look, I've just gone and I've diagnosed that. They've sent people out who didn't know what it was, and we've just gone there, and within 5 minutes we've gone, bang, it's that, and that's how to fix it. And I've said they'll probably end up getting someone else to do it. And Phil was saying, well, don't tell them what the problem is, just say, I've identified the problem and it's going to cost this much to fix it. And when they ask what it is, just say,
I'll tell you when you pay me.
maybe I am too honest.
Time is money.
I can say, I think I'll be honest with them, tell them what it is and that, and then if they ask me to do like any more of these and like we don't get the jobs, I'll just start saying, I'm gonna have to start charging you a call out fee to diagnose these, because it is a weird thing. That, what do you think about that in terms of builders? So I've always said, if someone wants like, builders always give quotes for free, don't they?
They do, yeah.
But like, there's not loads of industries that do that, in terms of like, you go and give your time for free. And bear in mind, like, if you're getting something done, the average says that you'll get 3 people out to price it.
Yeah. And
you'll have 3 prices, and then you can make a decision. So there's 2 out of those 3 people have wasted the time.
Yeah, they have to.
So what do you do? Just price that into your jobs, or do you just accept it? Like, you know,
it's a bit different though. That's for people who are searching for work. You're not searching for work. You've got people phoning you and asking you to go and do stuff. You've got your own work on. That's who people who was like, yeah, if we go and price that job and we get it, we've got another 6 months work. You've got another 6 months work regardless, mate. They're just extras.
But just in general, what would you do? Like, I'd pay someone to come and I'd pay someone for a quote
to tell you what a problem is.
No, I'd pay if someone said, I want a quote for my extension. If it's something big that's going to take, because an extension quote takes a few hours.
Yeah.
So like, you're thinking now, like, I might spend 4 hours doing an extension quote, and that's half a day, and like, I don't get paid for that. Obviously, if you don't get that. But then if someone said, like, I want a quote you know, you've been recommended. If I said I'm going to charge for quotes, it's like 100 quid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100 quid, it's going to take me 4 hours to give you a proper quote, but you've obviously got my number because someone's recommended us, so
Yeah.
it's not like a cold. I think that's the
Nah,
difference,
but
isn't it? It's not
you-
a cold call, it's
You
a...
can do it simple though, can't you? You can just say, look, they cost this per square metre. Simple as, over the phone, do you know what I mean? But the average is this, blah, 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 and that's what I
Well,
want.
no, and that's why I'm trying to do the website. So the website does what you've just said, gives them a rough one per square metre,
Yeah.
and then says, if you want to book in, like a survey,
Yeah.
and book your slot for your extension, it's £1,000 deposit, and you know it's refundable if you don't go ahead,
Yeah.
and that way it just worms out
time
it
wasters.
worms out all the time wasters. Yeah, not that like, well, I'm like forecasting time wasters here, but because I've never well, we must be reasonable and do a good job, because I don't think I've priced the job and not got it, which is like rare.
Have you got
when
the
you
damn
think about
proof
it.
one?
That's what we're going to now. He wants to know a price for that and this other bit now.
Oh, he wants more doing
In
with
one.
him with the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah.
Did
we-
you
we
price
just-
the roof?
what was on the roof?
Semi-detached cable end.
Oh no, I haven't done that yet.
No.
I've got like 4 or 5 jobs that I haven't.
Yeah, man, I haven't got round to meeting up with the people.
And it probably sounds so bad, and it is bad, innit? For like, because they go, like, if you ask someone for a quote, you sort of expect it, like,
within 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, soon as, don't you?
Turn up, yeah.
whereas I'm like,
Give
Up
me
the
2
wall.
Give me 2 weeks.
I'm up the wall, I'm thinking, it's not something I want to rush.
Yeah.
Because if I give someone that, if I say it's going to cost £5,000, and they go, sound, I'll book it in, and then I look at it and I go, oh, hold on, I'll rush this, like, it's going to cost well more than that, then it looks bad on me then, doesn't it?
Yeah, unprofessional.
But yeah, I'm going to do that. I've got footy tonight. I was going to say I'm going
Got
to
to
do
go
that.
to St Anne's Street as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and then yeah, so I'll just add that to the list. But I do need to sit down for the day and just go, right.
And he's going to police station.
Last video of the day. So we're just back on one of the other landlord jobs. I've just done the Euro cylinder.
Oh, I'm hearing our voice. Right. I never hear voices out here.
You're right. And they want to renew. Oh, to ask him, hey mate.
Hey, mate! Gone now.
He's gone. Can you
flush the
flush that toilet for us? Cheers, mate. What they said is that this old cast iron pipe, I don't know which one it is though. I think it's that top one, isn't it? Looking on it, that one looks more.
The one's got the end of
Yeah,
the one's got damp coming in by it though.
The other one's got all water. I think it's the one above.
Oh, upstairs.
Can you do that one?
Right, give me a moment.
Cheers, mate. But I can see on that one's got more. It's got like all white. Yeah, at the bottom of it. So I'm guessing it's that one. Because you remember last time we come and it's the other one. They had the birds and stuff on,
The bird's nest.
and it was that was trickling all the way down. So they still haven't solved that.
That's what I meant.
Oh yeah,
That one.
yeah. You can see it there. Sound. Right. So just 2. Oh, it's coming out there as well.
That's the same down pipe though.
Yeah, but from
that's
the.
not dripping down onto
Oh yeah, dripping onto it, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, we got what we wanted.
So we'll just give them a price to renew that, and then they want to renew, or not renew, but sort this out because this is all dripping here. So as it's dripping here, you can see all this is getting damp and whatever. I don't know whether they're expecting to, like, if they fix that, whether they're hoping it'll stop the mould in this room maybe. But they've had that redone. Look,
Yeah.
someone's painted it.
Yeah.
Because that was all damp, wasn't it?
Doesn't look damp anymore, does it? Crystallised or not?
No. What about there? So someone looks something. So they have done that. They're getting me to come and diagnose everything, and then getting someone in cheaper to do it. But yeah. So I'm just wondering what they've done, whether they've took the skirting off, injected it, But they obviously haven't knocked the plaster off and done it. Like,
Oh, that's the same plaster, is it?
yeah. Or is it? Have they plastered it? Ah, they won't have, will they?
No. It's not really plastered, that is it?
No. Yeah, no, at all.
This does come off through at the bottom there, aren't you, on the left-hand corner?
That's the issue when you don't. So this is what the woman at Western told us. Said what we did was we took all that off, took the skirting off, injected it, and then put the skirting board back on, and then like replastered it. And she said even though you've replastered it, the moisture from the ground is still up in there and it's dried out, and what'll happen is all the crystals will still it'll come out for a while.
You need to leave it.
So you need to knock it off. Basically, you need to knock.
And leave it to there out.
Yeah, and then obviously do it. But yeah, sound. Let's give them a price for that and see how we get on. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and I'm running a bit late to the extension job because I played footy last night, and then I come in and I decided to try and I've edited the video, and then I've done a couple of quotes. I only managed to get one of them done actually, but I was up late doing that, so I'm feeling it this morning. And weirdly, we had I've just had a weird call then. So someone asked me for an extension on their house, and I sent them info, and then they messaged me randomly this months later. They just messaged me saying have I got a Hilti scanner? ? And I was like, I haven't got a Hilti scanner. But I was like, for what? What type of scanner? And then they rang me and said it's for a rebar scanner. So they bought a new Bellway home, and the neighbour next door had a plumbing issue and they had to dig the floor up, and he said that the rebar wasn't right. It wasn't in the right position, or he doesn't know, he just said the neighbour said the rebar wasn't right, so you better get yours checked. And I was thinking, I half get it, because obviously it's a new build, you get so long to whatever, but if you haven't got an issue, I said this is what I said to the fella, I said if you haven't got an issue, don't go looking for one, because if I went round to a new build house, I could find an issue, something wrong, but it's sort of why would you go looking for something that's not obvious to you, sort of thing. And then I just explained that if it's got rebar in, I'm assuming it's been piled, a pile foundation, and then you rebar the concrete slab because that sits on the pile rather than sitting on the obviously the ground, which is soft. And with piles, they don't move at all. They literally don't move a millimetre. Strip foundations you'll pour, and even if it's on hard ground, clay or whatever, they move 10 mil. Whereas a pile doesn't move, it literally goes down and that's it. So I said to him I wouldn't worry about it if your house has been piled and you've got a concrete slab, and if there was a big issue with it, it would have presented itself by now, because the concrete will have fully cured and whatever else. But yeah, and then we also had another there's comments on the YouTube, obviously 99.9% of them are amazing, and I can't thank you enough in terms of it literally, it does blow my mind sometimes when you read some of the comments, because people are genuinely interested and enjoy watching our videos, which is amazing. Obviously I enjoy going to work. I know obviously there's times where it's stressful and you can probably see it come across, but obviously I do this job because I enjoy it. At the end of the day, I like building stuff, looking back and going, we built that, we all work together as a team, and everyone likes problem solving, don't they? That's what everyone's job in the world is you're solving a problem for someone, and every day you've got to solve problems. So I enjoy that side of it, but you do get some mad comments. There's one fella who commented and I thought, I recognise his YouTube name, and I clicked on him, and you can see his comments, and he's got 6 comments on the channel, and all 6 of them are you know, he's 1,000,000% a neighbour. He's a neighbour who lives on the street, and all his comments are just like negative and like having a go and like argumentative. And I was just thinking, like, why is this fella comment? Like, what's up with him? But yeah, he was talking. I'll try and address your comments, mate, because obviously you're not able to do it yourself. He says he lives there and he knows the yard, or allotments he calls it, which it was never allotments actually. So you've got that wrong, because I know a few people have mentioned it about being allotments. It was never ever allotments. So when I bought the yard, I got all the planning history of it. So it was actually owned by the railway. So the railway used to own it. Obviously they own the railway and, you know, a good considerable chunk either side of the railway. And what happened was, obviously when they built houses and stuff, the owner of the bungalow next door had seen this land to the side that the railway weren't really upkeeping, and so he inquired about owning it, and it was unregistered at the time, because registrations only come in 1980 something, land registry that is, where they started documenting who owned every single piece of land. And there's still unregistered parcels of land outside, but that doesn't mean someone doesn't own them. So unregistered just means that since they started doing the records of who owns what, this one hasn't changed hands or been sold or bought, so they haven't been able to update it. So you imagine there is some land in the UK that no one owns, say, is just like, you know, but I mean, we're in Liverpool, we're in like a built up area, pretty much someone owns everything. Whether it's registered or not is a different story. So you can have pieces of land that are registered and someone dies, and obviously they don't know, they don't tell anyone about it, whatever, and it'll just stay unregistered then. So that's like an obscure way of doing it. But the railway owned it, and the owner of the house next door, he applied for adverse possession. So he fenced off and he said, can I, you know, acquire this land? And the railway turned around and said, to be honest, like, it's upkeep for us, we're not doing it, we don't want it, there's no use, so yeah, you can have it. So they signed it over. So I've got the legal contracts for that transaction actually, from the railway saying, look, yeah, that's fine, this, that, and that was when the person bought it. Another family bought it off that person, the bungalow that is, and also obviously acquired the land with it, and that's when they started using it as a builder's yard. And he was obviously in demolition. He used it to store all his materials. There was, I mean, if you go on Google Maps, I'll put it here now for people who aren't able to use Google Maps and see obviously sheds and tracks and, you know, stuff that shows it's a builder's yard. And obviously, just to let you know that we had, the planners went down the route of saying it was abandoned. So the planners tried to say, look, it was a builder's yard, however it's been abandoned, it's not been used for ages, and they obviously went down that route. They passed it on to planning enforcement, which is the normal procedure, and planning enforcement came out. So the head of planning enforcement came out to site when we were there. Luckily we were there that day, and he knocked on and said hi, you know, introduced himself, said this has landed on his desk this morning to enforce on it, to stop it being a yard. And he said, have you got any evidence of it being a yard previously, before you obviously bought it? And I said, well, look, yeah, you know, we started a YouTube channel, you can see it on there. Here's, like, I've got thousands of photos, and I just showed him one, and he just went, oh yeah, clearly that's a builder's yard. I can see all the sheds, I can see the concrete, etc. And he said, you won't hear from us again in terms of it being a builder's yard. We're not going to enforce on trying to stop you making it a builder's yard, the threshold for abandonment is really high. It's not something that, like this one just had a few weeds going through the concrete. That doesn't mean it's abandoned. It would have to have changed use for a number of years and be considered in the community as a complete change of use. So if I was to change that to a play centre in the nursery, then I'd do that for a few years and it would change its use to that, and then the builder's yard would be classed as abandoned. However, no one's done that, and I've got legal documents off the 3 previous owners to say that yeah, it was a yard. They haven't changed it, and you know, when they sold it, it was a yard. When I bought it, it was a yard, and yeah, loads of stuff. They've sent me pictures of it, obviously with the stuff that the family used to store on there who were in demolition. So he had big trucks, excavators, yeah. So I have got a pile of evidence, as you'd say, or not that I need to show it on YouTube, but I am being advised not to show too much because it is going to go down it's looking like we're going to have to go to an appeal. So if I've shared a lot of it with planning, and they're still, they've gone from saying it's abandoned now to saying, well, they accept that it's a builder's yard. You know, we've shown enough evidence to show there is a builder's yard. However, a builder's yard doesn't have permitted development rights, so we're not allowed to build stuff. We're not allowed to do buildings on there without planning permission. So, which I've applied for planning permission. So some people think that this planning permission is to convert allotments or whatever you think it is into a builder's yard. It's not. It's for, I don't know how many times I said this, it was for a steel shed on the builder's yard. So it's not a change of use or anything like that. It's to retain the use as a builder's yard and to put a steel storage, which would look better. But it's a difficult one because the original planning officer said it needs to look commercial. It's a commercial premises. It needs to look commercial. And so I did that, and then the new planning officers come in with 100 people objecting to the application and suddenly changed their mind and done a U-turn and said that it looks too commercial and that it needs to not be commercial because the road is mainly residential. However, I don't know the difference between commercial and residential. I just think there's two. A property is either commercial or residential. I don't know if there's a in between. However, like next door is a business. It's a adventure playground where kids go in, they pay, and they use the services. And then next door to that is another one, which again is a business. It's a building. It's got emergency lights. It's got fire exits. It's got fire alarm, smoke and heat detectors, which are all commercial grade. And I don't really understand like how someone's arguing that a business isn't commercial. So the library is commercial, the shops on the corner are all commercial, the railway is commercial, the MOT garage is commercial. So when you look at that bit, I am just this chunk of commercial. I'm just like the end commercial premises on this road. And at some point, you know, it'd be great if every single commercial and residential property had a strip of 50 metres between them that was just dead land that you could clearly identify between residential and commercial. However, I used the example of Travis Perkins in Woolton. It's smack bang in the middle of houses and other commercial stuff. And yeah, at some point someone's garden finishes and behind that is a commercial premises. Normally they're by the railway. If you go look on Google Maps and you go down the railway, you'll see either side of the railway is normally sort of commercial businesses because obviously they put them by the railway. But yeah, hopefully that's enough of a rant. Whether I share some of the things or keep them back for the planning application, the appeal, I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I come to edit it. But I will share stuff that's already out there, that's obvious, and I always think share everything. So, but yeah, there are some people with an agenda who are commenting who you don't know what you're on about, basically. So, you know, crack on. It clearly makes you feel better, and you're clearly in the know, and that but yeah, have fun commenting, and obviously thanks for your comments and views, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
I was going to be down that corner, I didn't want to be this side of the
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, you'd be
We're
that.
going to be this side that's getting boxed in, but coming, what would you say, 150?
I'd box the whole wall in because I don't like nibs. So I'd build the whole wall out so that soil pipe's covered, but it doesn't look like it's, you know, boxed in. And then all the tiles will be like nice and flush and that. So we've got our soil pipe here, and what the lads have done is measured off there and then squared it off the extension. And we've used a 6-inch so that we can hide the pipe. Plus, one thing we've always made the mistake of is, like, it's not, people think you have a 4-inch soil pipe, but it's actually 110 mil. So you won't hide this in a stud wall, because obviously they're 95 is what a normal 4x2 is. There you go. They're not actually 100 mil, they're 95 mil. So I know a lot of people try and hide the soil pipe in a stud wall, and you'll get stuck, because one, the 110 mil, and then two, when you come to put a fitting on, they're actually 1350. So you need 1350 minimum to be able to hide a pipe and a coupler in the stud wall. So we're going to cut this now. We're going to get a Boss strap connector on. We're going to run that along the wall and out for the walk-in shower here. And then what we've just done is measured out, here's our line for the wall. And then we just measured from the 6-inch stud what this gap is. And then we tried to mimic it that side. However, we've got a slightly bigger gap on this side than that side. So we'll have our mark there. What we've done is we've gone, the shower tray is going to be 1400, and then we're going to have plasterboard each side, so we give 15 mil each side for plasterboard and skim or tile or adhesive or whatever. So 143. So rather than doing it where you can get stuck, really, where sometimes if you put the shower tray in and then plasterboard each side, if you ever have an issue with the shower tray, you're knackered. So loads of the student jobs, they've had to smash the shower trays out, take a load of tiles off to get a new shower tray in. And we're going to lift it up on a piece of 4x2 so they've got access into the waste. But yeah, that'll be next, getting these 2 stud walls up and getting the first fix plumbing and stuff, start getting that in. And electrics, I've just gone through the electric layout with the owner, where they want sockets, how many lights they want, spotlights, pendants. So, but we're going to get the stud walls up first. So I probably need more 4x2 because I didn't think about boxing in that.
Get freebie for that to box in now.
Yeah, could get 3x2, yeah.
I've marked for 200 off the wall, you're putting a stud round along, so you've got room there.
Yeah, so you do the 200, well, it was that plus what you always leave, what we try and leave is 100 mil round the door frame, so that you can have, let's just say that that's the pipe. So if we do a wall there, we'll have 100 mil where we can fit an architrave on, because what you don't want to do is fit a door frame and then you've got, like, you know, 20-30 mil that you're not going to get a proper arc and you're having to rip one down and it looks crap. So it's always weird the way they do that tune, isn't it?
Just all in the key till the charge.
Yeah. So we leave 100 mil nib so that we can fit an architrave around the door frame. Sound? Let me run and get a Boss connector and some 40 mil pipe and we'll get that in.
Car's waiting for you.
Oh, so I don't want this to be a van vlog and then start filming like on a bit of a better location than my van, but I've had a busy morning already. Let me get them up. So I had a call from Highways, and I thought, oh, what now? Like, what? We haven't even been on the yard. Like, what someone complained about, and it wasn't. It was the guy who's measured the dropped curb. So we've applied for a drop curb on the yard, and they've accidentally measured it as a domestic drop curb, not a commercial drop curb, and they said that it's going to cost more money, which is fair enough, I suppose. But you know, I've done the quote, paid it. So I've had this in the past where I had a drop curb outside one of my houses, and again they sent me the quote, paid it, and they turned around and said, oh, you know, we mismeasured it. To be honest, it was a bit more concrete than we thought it was going to be, but they said obviously you've paid it, so it's a business transaction, we'll honour it. So I don't know whether they're going to do the same with this, or whether they're expecting me to obviously pay the difference. I don't know what the difference is going to be, because I've already paid £4,200 for a drop curb, which is, you know, a lot of money, isn't it, to anyone. And so I don't know how much more it's going to be for that. However, they rang me and said, we just wanted to check, because we spoke to the planning department, and one of the officers has come back. I'm guessing it's the one that hates us and doesn't want anything building there. And they've said that, yeah, look, although it's not a planning department to say who can and can't have a drop curb. However, they like listed some things to say that they've said it's got lawful use as a builder's yard. So that's it. However, like, we've applied for a warehouse, and it looks like they're not gonna grant the warehouse. So would that affect the drop curb? And they just basically said to Highways that like I don't really know how to word this. Obviously I don't want to share the recording with the woman on the phone, because I can't do that without permission. But basically, like, they were trying to make it, you know, more difficult for them to give the drop curb. However, I spoke to Highways and I was like, do we need planning permission for a drop curb? And they were like, no. I was like, so why are planning involved with the drop curb? And they were like, something to do with, like, I don't know. Basically, the planning officer's trying to obviously have a say in the drop curb now, which, you know, I feel like this one planning officer's just got a vendetta against either me or they know someone who lives on the road, or it's just, yeah, it just seems a bit OTT, the lengths they're going to. But yeah, they basically said something along the lines of, yeah, you can install a drop curb, however, you know, it might not be needed if I don't get planning for the warehouse. And I was a bit like, well, who are they to say that? I said, you know, either way I'm going to be using that yard as is, or like, you know, like I need somewhere to put like all my stuff, machines and materials and stuff like that, my scaffolding. So like, it's going to get used either way, so I don't know why. And the operator's license has said that I need to have it in and an out. Health and safety have said an in and an out. So I need this drop curb regardless. So I just explained that to Highways, and they was like, look, yeah, that's fine, we'll get it booked in. What we'll do is we'll send you a revised quote for the commercial drop curb. But I can't see it being much more than what it is, like £4,200 for a drop curb. Like, that's already like a big expense. I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know if we're talking like £100-200 more, or whether they're going to come back with something stupid like thousands more, in which case I might have to then go back and say, look, you know, I've paid it, the transaction's done as far as I'm concerned. If you've made an error on your side when you've given me a quote, that's sort of on you. But and then the other issue we had with the planning officer was refusing to accept the drawings I'd sent. For what they've said is that the weight of the warehouse can't be on the roots of the trees that they've now made protected, so that they can refuse me planning application. And so I come up with a pile diagram that showed we can pile it, and that way no weight's on the roots. And then he said, right, well, you've got to have 150mm air gap underneath your slab so that the tree roots, which are 3-4 meters down, can breathe. I don't know how, like 3-4 meters of hardcore and soil and earth, how 150mm air gap is going to make any difference to that. But I'm not an ecologist, so you just have to sort of take that on the chin and go, okay. So I come up with a ramp that comes from the highway up to obviously our piled floor, because they said I'm not allowed to excavate any ground that might affect the roots. So I said, okay. So I come up with a plan. I mean, there you go, sent it in the drawings, and they said, no, we need more detail, need more detail. And like, now, I get drawings off engineers, so I'm normally the one who would ask for more detail if it wasn't on the plan. And I'm telling you, like, everything's on that plan. I've even gone as far as calced the steel that is going to take the ramp and put the calculations in, the sizes, everything, the weights, and showed like the bending forces and everything, that it'll take a HGV vehicle. And I've sent that. So basically, I don't trust that the planning officer hasn't got other, I don't know. It seems to me that this planning officer's got to be in the bonnet for me or the yard, and you know, whatever it is, I don't trust that they're gonna have a fair judgment on what they're doing or what they're saying. So they keep asking me for more and more detail on the plans. So what I've ended up doing is I've gone back. I've sort of missed the planning officer out and gone to the tree officer, and they've confirmed that the ramp is fine. And then I've also gone belt and braces, and I've sent it to the council's structural engineer, who's basically come back and said, well, like, yeah, obviously it's plausible, yeah. And I was like, that's fine, like, you know, I don't need to know the ins and outs of the structures and whatever else, but like, is it plausible? Because that's all I need. It needs to be plausible so that the planning can make a decision on it, because they're trying to use that as a reason, as one of their reasons for refusing the planning application. So they've now come back. So this planning officer surely cannot ignore that the council's engineer has looked at the plans, the council's tree officer has looked at the plans, and if they both say it's okay, then surely that's it, it's done. There's nothing else they can come back with. But we will see. It is like constant firefighting at the minute with this yard, but you know, I'm all in on it. So I you know, it's like a game of cards. Like, I've not got the reserves, I've not got anything to fold, so I've just got to keep going all in and doing everything I can to get it over the line. And what was the other one? All this whilst I'm also trying to do work. So I've also redone the plans. So they turned around and said, well, originally they said it needs to look commercial, then they said it doesn't, they don't want it to look commercial, it needs to fit in with the street. So next door is a commercial property which does adventure playground for like kids and teenagers and whatever else, and they've got a building which has had planning permission granted. They've got 2 buildings, and so what I've done is I've just copied their building now. So if that doesn't fit in with the street, having the same building as the commercial property next door, I don't know what does. So basically I'm trying to set everything up so that when we go to, if they still refuse the planning application, I can go to an appeal, and I'm just best set up for the appeal as I can. So if hopefully someone comes in with fresh eyes, looks at it and says, all right, so he's applied for the same building as next door and you've said no to it, and it's going to look the same as that, and yeah, like what's the issue here? That, you know, and hopefully we can get it on appeal. But I don't know if planning, or if they genuinely think that, you know, it's wrong, it's not, you know, we can't have anything there, or whether because so many neighbours have kicked up a fuss that they're just trying to look as if they are, you know, doing something, and I don't know if they think that they're happy for me to appeal it and it get granted if it did, and they'd turn around and go, well, you know, obviously we did our best, and the local residents would say, oh, you know, obviously the planning department did the best to stop it, and it went to a different one who's actually granted it. I don't know. Or whether another I'd appeal it and they just come in and go, absolutely not, like, yeah, there's no way you're getting a building on there. I don't know, but it's just frustrating. At least obviously I've got multiple confirmations from the planning now that it has got lawful use as a builder's yard. You know, they've obviously looked into it, and if they're trying to stop it as a lawful use of builder's yard and they're now saying that it has got lawful use of builder's yard, then I suppose that's a small win in the circumstances, even though I knew it was. But yeah, frustrating, but I say I'm all in, so I will get somewhere eventually. Wherever that is, I don't know, but I'll hopefully get some value for money out of the builder's yard that I bought, whether it's got a warehouse or storage or whatever on it. I will persist and get something useful and, you know, help grow my business. That is the main objective, obviously, getting the builder's yard. It's just frustrating that you've got to jump through so many hoops and hurdles and, you know, deal with a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting to. But will this make me better and stronger going forward for other applications? That's what I always say. Everything you go through is a learning curve, isn't it? I'm just sick of learning. Do some actual work getting done rather than me talking in the van about crap. But we've got soil piping, so just measured then, and it's the toilets we get are 18 centimetres to the centre. So I've done this 20, just because they're going to have tile adhesive. And then what I need to do now is get a Bosch connector. Now, I normally always have this issue where I might put something down there actually just to stop it in case it does. When you drill these out, sometimes the plastic falls down into the pipe. So what I'm going to do is going to get a bag. Have we got a plastic bag in here? Or something I can jam in the pipe. No. Must have a plastic bag somewhere here. Here we go. That'll do. I'm just going to push that down so that I can catch that plastic bit if I do, because I don't want to. Right, and then I can. Oh, there you go, just caught it. But yeah, sometimes that falls down. And then I can take this out. I mean, I might leave that in so that it stops. Although, hey, do you know we done that once with me and Ben? Done an extension with someone, and they were saying about the smell of, obviously, the extension smells of poo, because we had the pipe coming out for the toilet. So we put a plastic bag down there, yeah, put like a rubber bag. Left it. And obviously done that, went off, and then they got someone in to do the plumbing. They only fitted the toilet and like left the bag down. So then they were ringing us like months later going, the bloody mains has been blocked, and they found a rubber bag down the pipe. Like, what's that about? And I was like, oh yeah, that's to stop the smell. I said, and they'd obviously just flushed it down and it got blocked further down. But we got the blame for it. I can get one here probably either side. Whether we build like, you know, like a double stud, or whether do a 4x2 for the pipe and then put the 6x2 on top of that. Whatever, we've got it cut, haven't we? So I've just put some OB1, you can see it squashed out the sides there, just to be sure. And then on the back of these ones are good because you can get different ones, but these ones like clip in and like stay obviously clipped in. Now you can obviously separate them by pulling them apart, but now I need to solvent weld this in to 40mm, and then our 40mm pipe will get solvent welded in, and I've got 2 offsets. Just grab them offsets for us on the windowsill, and then we're going to put that to where the centre of the shower will be, and then we can get this stud wall up. Little update, so we've got the stud wall up for the bathroom, doorway in here, door's going to open that way. You're going to have a sink straight ahead, you've got your toilet, we're going to put the sink obviously into that, and then you've got your shower there, so we just need to do some 4x2, and we've got the shower waste in already with a little fall into that. So I sent to Ronnie before about how the shower's 900, so that comes to there, and he was like, oh, why didn't you put that in the middle? I said no, because you want to have access to it. So we're going to have like a joint there with a flexible pipe that goes into the waste, which should be in the middle at the front here. And then we're going to build a stud wall where that shower comes out. Right, and we've took all this bit off because this wall's coming out, this door and wall's coming out. And where we've put this stud wall here, we're going to bring that across to, I think it's there, I've marked it on the wall. And then that's going to be a flush wall then with a door opening this way. And then we'll put a door here into that little cupboard under the stairs. We've capped off that one last time with Phil, would have snatched it. And I've just done another one here now. Just took this rod off to get this pipe in, and Ronnie's just making a route now for the pipes. So this is going to be the new central heating for, there's a radiator going in this corner here. So we're going to take the feed off of that and run it to there. And we've disconnected the sink and we've just started on this. So we've got the island. So in the island, we've brought the mains up. So I've brought that high enough so it's above the kickboards. It'll be in the bottom corner of the cupboard. So that as you open the cupboard, that'll be your main stop tap to the house. And it'll come into here, tee off. Obviously, we're going to have a sink on the island. I've got the hot. And then what I've done is I've run a 3-metre pipe underneath this ducting. And it comes up here. So I wanted to have those in one piece because I don't want any joins under the ground in that pipe that aren't accessible. So if there is any problems, they'll be accessible here. And now I've got to bring these up. We've disconnected all the old hot and cold here. And they ran up the wall here and then obviously went into the bathroom upstairs. So there's hot and cold now. And I've brought them in round and they're going to come round now and straight down, connect to these. And then we're going to have a look and always get these. These are like £1.20 each, and the amount of time it'll save you just labelling stuff as you're going. So when I bring them up now, I'll label hot and cold at each corner. Whenever there's a turn, I always just put hot and cold tape round because you never know in the future. Or if you come to tee into something, you'll see that and it'll be like a lifesaver for whoever's doing the work. Right, I'm going to connect these up now and I'm going to guess which one is the hot and cold. So I'm going to connect this up, turn the water on, and then Paul's going to go upstairs and check which one's the cold and see whether we've got it the right way around. If not, we'll swap it round and then we can label them up. We're away then. We have got another joist to go back in here because we have to take it out to get the steel in. Ready? I'll connect that up and if you run upstairs and I'll tell us which one's coming out the cold. Right, I've just tested the hot and cold and I'm going to clip them there. What I'm going to use is, I bought this in the Elect show, if you remember. Pulsar spit gun. It's made by Pazload. I've just tried one then, it went into the concrete. I didn't realise it had something actually. And they showed me this works on plastic back boxes, so I'm hoping it'll work through this straight into the concrete, so we'll give it a go now. Oh, I'm going to film and do this if I can. Change that for... And I've run out of bits, so that was good. So I've put some pins in it and It won't fit on these that I've got. I've got like the dual ones, so we probably will just have to drill them, but it does push it on. I'd hope I've had the battery on it, wouldn't it? Nearly. We'll have to get like the right bits for this because it makes it fucking quicker, doesn't it? Right, mate. Straight into what is it?
Smash my steps again.
How many steps? 10,000? Yeah. Right, I'll put that on charge and pack everything away, and we'll come back and do that tomorrow so we can we've got the hot and cold back on. I'll just have to tell them they won't have the sink for today until we get that moved to here. Oh, and then it'll be insulation, won't it?
Do about the sink though.
Well, can we move it now or not? Right, so we've managed to set up a little temporary kitchen for them. We've just done the hot and the cold and connected it up to the waste. So we are going to get a non-return valve on this waste because obviously if the mains blocks up, we don't want anything coming out here in the kitchen in the island. So we'll put a non-return on that. But obviously not for now, it can just drop in. And we hope that nothing gets blocked in the mains and all sewage doesn't come out. But yeah, that's one thing to think about when you are doing an island. Always put a non-return on in case the worst happens in the sewer and all your waste starts coming backing up into your kitchen. Right, we're going to pack away and we're going to go to Garland's in town. We're going to take some awnings down, 2 awnings down, and fit them at another club. So we're back at another second home, which is G-Bar. And we're just taking these awnings down from the old Garland's because it's shut down now. And basically whenever it's raining, if you don't have these, if you don't have somewhere to stand for people before they come into the club, they just go home, and obviously it just ruins the night for the owners. So we're taking these 2 off and we're going to take them to another club down the road, and we're going to see about fitting them. See where we can fit them on their wall. It's got to be on like a pretty substantial section of wall because it needs to have a lot of weight. And either we'll get some new plugs or we'll buy new fixings for them. But yeah, 1 down. And it's quite simple the way they come out. Ronnie's just undoing 2 little bolts underneath, and then these like roll out. So like you fit the brackets first, and then you like sit this on, and then you clip it into place and put like 6 little screws in to hold it in place. Easier than we thought it was going to be. And we've got both of them off. Ronnie's just getting the last bracket off, and then we're going to go around the corner and suss out where it'll go, but I don't reckon we'll do that tonight. I won't be able to put on with the music, will I? They will. You will. Yeah, everything gets bloody copyrighted. Well, we're waiting for the owner to come and open up the bar so we can put these awnings in. Are they called awnings? Yeah. Awnings inside. So Ronnie's broke his New Year's resolution, which wasn't to stop drinking JD and Coke.
No, it's not go out. What's the work class that for?
No early dart today. Well, this is the bar that we're going to be putting the awning on. So we'll get 1 on here, but we need to take the sign down and fit the awning, and then fit the sign above the awning. So it'll be a case of taking the flowers down and the sign and having a look what we can and can't do. But yeah, we'll have to maybe move the CCTV down and stuff, and that it looks like sandstone, so we'll have to chemical fix them rather than compression fix them. But that is it, nearly 5:45. Paul was just laughing at this club called Oh My God. Someone's actually called the club OMG. Right, that is it for Tuesday.